in Southern California as we welcome you to the 41st annual W World Vet Motocross Championship. Boy, there's legends to be made, and if this racetrack could talk. We got some more stories to tell over the next 2 days. So glad you're hanging with us. My name is Jack Corpella from the Racing Jack YouTube channel. Alongside me, our resident expert, Mr. Mark Tilley, who I want to give a big shout out to because Mark is playing hurt. If you watched our NGPC coverage last week from Laughlin, unfortunately the man who often gets the whole shot, I posted the video, went down right on the whole shot, 8 broken ribs. Playing hurt here this weekend. Thank you so much for being here, man. Hope you're feeling okay.
Yeah, no, it's a testament to having the right equipment. I just came in the first turn and made a mistake and misjudged some stuff and hit the ground. And it happens. You know, we were able to do the live feed. Fortunately, I didn't know how hurt I was until I went to the ER or the urgent care when I got back home later on the next week, but got taken care of, little bumps and bruises, but yeah, a bunch of ribs and a bunch of bruises, but hey, we're back here again, live on Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube channel. Later on, there will be lots of stuff on Racing Jack's YouTube channel, a 50 Pro race, and then on MXA, the World Cup, all kinds of stuff. So you're watching just the first inklings of a weekend full of live streaming. You'll see most of that on Motocross Action's YouTube channel. So go over there, subscribe to Racing Jack, subscribe to Dirt Bike Magazine. You'll get an alert when we go live. You'll get an alert when brand new videos come out. So lots of racing action. Bud and Lori from Glen Helen bringing just a plethora of racing action towards you. We're going to stay. We listened to what you guys were saying last year, and you wanted to see some of the regular races. So MXA, Motocross Action, Josh Mosman, and all those guys are going to kind of stay live and go from there. So it's a really cool thing that these guys are bringing all this racing action. You could be riding this. If you're a 30-plus guy, you could be riding this and going from there. So, man, lots of great track sponsors, lots of sponsors in general. So what do we got going on, Jack?
Well, again, thank you, Mark, for being here. We're lucky to have you. And as you said, kick your feet up because it's going to be a big 2 days of racing. And we begin with the 30-plus Pasha 125 CC shootout. And earlier this weekend, we were able to catch up with the folks from Pasha and learn a little bit more about this great event.
We're here with the one and only Pasha Afshar. Let me restart that. We're here with the one and only two-stroke aficionado, Pasha Afshar. He is the one in charge of putting all the money up for the Pasha 30-plus Pro Class and the Pasha 50-plus 125 Open Pro Class. These guys are out here on 125 two-strokes and 150 two-strokes. We just have grown men having fun on two-strokes on the track, and Pasha's the reason for that. So I've talked to multiple people today who are already stoked to be here, stoked to be racing 125s and 150s. Pasha, man, what's the purpose? Why do you keep coming back and dumping your money into these races?
Well, first of all, that's a lot of fun. It's safe, it's fun, but also what I'm learning as the time's going by is that so many people, Josh, strangers, are thanking me for throwing these events, and that they actually went and bought 125s and 150s just for this. Yep. And then there's a lot of people actually across the United States and even in Europe that call me and say that the passion and the fun that you guys are posting about, this got them to buy their 125s. And then they call me and thank me for getting the 125 back under them, and they missed it. And so it's basically, if you haven't ridden a 125 in a while, ride a 125 because you're going to have a blast. Yep. Don't you have a blast when you ride one?
Well, no, I do, and I have firsthand experience. This guy lets me ride and race his bike, and then he pays me afterwards when I win the race. I finally won it after years of trying at the World Two-Stroke Championship. That was back in April. That's when they had a pro class, no age limit on there. I'm 29 years old, so I'm just out of the 30-plus Pasha 150 Open Pro class for this weekend. But next year, counting down the days, I'll be a real vet rider, and I'm coming for the money from this guy. But you have one rider this weekend who's won it before, won it multiple times, and he's also riding your bike. this one back here, the number 800 machine. Who do you got?
Yeah, this one is Mike Alessio, of course, number 800. This is the old MX8 test bike, if you remember from when you guys did the shootout. Of course, we've modified it a little bit since then. So Alessio's got our newest package here. And then your guys, Brian Medeiros, Pineapple, he's going to be racing the bike you won on.
Yep. So the bike's already won. It's already been proven, and Brian is really excited for this weekend. So I'm excited to see how he does. He's got Michael Essie, though. He's a hard charger, and the track is massive. It's been a lot of fun out here this weekend. Before we go, quick people that you want to thank that help make it possible for you to spend all this money and throw it into the race. Who do you got to thank?
That's a lot of people, man. I don't even want to start counting because then I'll miss somebody.
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
I just want to say I want to thank. You know who you are that support me. Yeah. And honestly, mostly 90% is Motocross Action Magazine because it is. It really is. If it wasn't because of these guys, Jody and Motocross Action, I really couldn't do what I've done. And that's the fact truth. So I thank Motocross Action and then all the other sponsors. I don't want to start naming them because I'm going to forget some, and every single one is incredibly important to me. But it's all on the bikes. Yeah. You know, maybe one day you can read the stickers on the bikes. Yeah. And then I just hope it keeps going on. That's all. God's giving me the grace to be able to do this. People love it. So when will it end? Hopefully never.
Yeah, hopefully never. Pasha, Two Strokes. If you want to learn more about his bikes and the parts that are on them, check out motocrossactionmag.com. We have all kinds of tests, videos, and written magazine articles about these bikes.
A big thank you goes out to Tony Pasha Pantera, the man, taking money out of his own pocket to support what we love, those old smokers, the Two Strokes. We're going to hear the sweet sound of 125cc premix burning motorcycles roaring around this beautiful racetrack. We got so much to talk about. Again, welcome. Good morning, everybody. No matter where you're watching from, it is Jack Rapella and Mark Tilley here with you at Bud Feldkamp Sandbox, an oasis of speed. 60 miles east of Los Angeles lies this beautiful racetrack. As we take a look at your W2025 starting grid here in the and we got the 50-plus class here. A lot of different categories here as we get ready to go. Tons of them. But right now, the 125s are what is lining up. And I'll tell you, Mark, we got a lot of great sponsors who have made this event possible, and we will shout them out throughout the weekend.
Yeah, no, there's lots of stuff going on. That grid that you saw is actually the next race in the program that is happening. We're going to come back with the Pasha Pro lineup, and so you guys can see everybody that's in there. I know there's Mike Alessi, Blaine Thompson, Brian Medeiros from Motocross Action. It's a stacked 30 class, and Pasha's putting up lots of money on that bad boy.
No doubt about it. As you take a look at this historic racetrack, 35 stories up to Old Glory here at Glen Helen Raceway, one of my absolute favorite tracks in the world, arguably the most famous motocross facility in this great nation. And this place is perfectly prepped. Big shout out to Bud Feldkamp, Lori Wilson, the entire team. And Mark, I hate to start on a somber note, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention our great friend Chad Tucker, who unfortunately we lost in August. It's just a key part, an integral part of everything that happened here at Glen Helen. It's been surreal being here without him this weekend. I'm just waiting for him to walk through the door, but I'll tell you what, I think he's up there smiling down on this great event as we are missing
walk
Chad.
Through the door with the big smile and the, hey, how you guys doing? Do you need anything? All that stuff. And it's I've been here. I mean, we're at Glen Helen all the time doing stuff, and there's a big hole there of what Chad did or what he brought to the table, not only professionally but personally. When you have a bad moto and it comes up to you afterwards and kind of, hey, you'll get him next time, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just a huge loss. Naturally, a hole that you just can't fill. So, shout out to his family and everybody. We know that everybody's missing him and wanting him here, but, he is definitely looking down and he's monitoring this event from above, and he will come in later on and tap us on the shoulder and be like, hey, we got to do better here next year. And so, but yeah, like I said, a great professional and truly missed. But yeah, here's a lineup. There's lots of money on the line. And these are all 125cc two-strokes. I think I see Blaine Thompson on the line. That 777 is going to be somebody to look out for. Of course, the orange helmet of Jared Medeiros And then we got Mike Alessi in there, too. So here we go. The board is sideways.
Here
and
we
we're
go.
Going.
It's hole shot time, guys. Racing into Talladega turn. Who will get our first hole shot of the day as these 125cc machines scream around Talladega? Continuing on. Wow, banging ball. Look at this. Great racing action here.
That is Alessi out front. I don't know who that is in second right there. We'll get some names and numbers, but that does look like Alessi out front, big 800 on his back. And Blaine Thompson on that Fast House-backed KTM 125, maybe a 150. Blaine's been really successful on that. So, yeah, no, we got lots of people going at it. That seems like that's Jared Medeiros. A lot of these bikes up front are not only really cool machines and have probably been featured at our sister publication, Motocross Action. You'll finally find some information online at motocrossaction.com, but a lot of them are built by Pasha himself. So like we saw in that feature, he's building bikes, putting up money, and just getting people back on the track. When we did a thing on the two-stroke World Championships, did a little feature on him, and he just wants people to get out and ride their motorcycles, and it's an amazing thing. But so Blaine Thompson making the pass into second place, getting by another person on looks like a KTM, and Jared Medeiros starting to make some way. Oh, Blaine gets passed back, but yeah, it's just a great event. I mean, and then like we said, you're watching this on Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube channel now. The next thing we'll have is a 50 Plus Pro Moto on the Racing Jack YouTube that is brought to us by Jack, sitting right next to us, and then the rest of the day is going to be live. Oh,
look
Jared!
At this. It's getting crowded here in the early going. We are fighting for position 3 wide in some of those turns. Good Lord, Mark. And remember, these are on 125cc machines. You're talking about only 40 horsepower unless they got some tricks up their sleeve.
These things are built. Every one of these bikes is built. But that's the cool part about the 125, 150 classes. It's a lot of racing action, and you can't just pull away. So it's definitely... Fitness is going to come into play. These guys are 30-plus years old, so I know these guys are still slim and trim. But like I said, look on Motocross Action's YouTube channel for lots of racing action for the rest of the day. After we hit Dirt Bike Magazine, go to Racing Jack. There's going to be lots of racing action live on Motocross Action's YouTube channel, and you can probably go to their website to watch it as well. But lots of racing action brought to you by the Bud and Lori and the crew here at Glen Helen. So I'm excited. Like we can't smell it, but you can hear it, and there's two-stroke oil and race gas burning for sure.
No doubt about it. You know Mark loves two-strokes. I do as well. If you love them, drop us a comment down below as we're seeing some great racing here in the early going. It is the 41st Annual W World Vet Motocross Championship. This is Moto number 1 of Saturday for our coverage. 30-plus Pasha 125cc machine. Mr. Holeshot, Mike Alessi, harking back to his roots and checking out. Mark, for those kids out there, look at this great.
Nice pass. That was
pass.
A really nice pass.
This is what a pro national used to look like back in the day. Remember 250s, 125s before the 450Fs and the 250Fs.
Yeah, I
raced
raced this track in 1999. I was I think the 40th qualifier on a KTM in 99 or 2000. I'm getting kind of old. I forget. my video production guy, Travis Fant, always gives me a bad time because he sees it on YouTube, and he gives me a bad time. He's like, man, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Tilly was something. And so it's kind of funny. It's fun to see. But, yeah, I mean, we get to see, and like we said, a little bit of backstory on these motorcycles. The bike that just went into second place with Brian Medeiros from Motocross Action on board. That was the bike that Josh Mosman won at the two-stroke World Championships on Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube earlier this year. And then the bike that Alessi has gotten the whole shot and is kind of checked out, that bike is the newest bike that Pasha has built. And I believe that was the bike in the back behind Josh and Pasha when they were talking on the feature that we did. So both of those bikes, top 2 bikes built by Pasha, and then he's going to pay these guys if they stay where they're at. Blaine, I think, is on a bike that he's shown up for some of these Pasha races and done really well. Blaine, a former test rider for Dirt Bike Magazine until he moved and started his own business up in Utah. But man, it's great to see all of this action going on.
Yeah, and I believe you said, Mark, you can be up to 150 cc's here. The big bores are allowed in this category?
Yeah, because they do make 150 cc stock bikes. And like I said, Pasha's thing is just to get people riding. As we see a bird's eye view from the drone footage that you're going to see all weekend long. We're watching Blaine on that Fast House backed KTM 125 or 150. So lots of stuff going on with it, and they're usually about I think these are 20-minute motos, 20-minute plus 1 lap. So yeah, lots of stuff going on here. But there's some Yamahas out there. I know that Pasha recently built a Yamaha for Motocross Action to do a review on. So lots of stuff happening, lots of stuff going on. Looks like now right on top of on Blaine's rear wheel is Huffman. Mayrose does a lot of these races in the 30, 40, and 50 classes. We got Musket in there that's throwing his hand in for this cash, and so lots of really cool stuff going on. Live in the booth, we have legends walking by or hobbling by is legendary announcer Mark Moore, trying to make fun of me for being hurt, but Mark Moore in the house here, and a big part of the behind the scenes with his daughter Tia doing lots of scoring at these races. So there's legends walking around here. You just gotta you throw a rock up in the air and you're gonna hit one.
No doubt about that, guys. As we continue on, our first Pro Moto of the day, 125cc 30+ from the 41st Annual W World Vet Motocross Championship. Mr. Holeshot Mike Alessi, the 800, leads around Meridos, Thompson, Huffman. Keep in mind, as for this event, we'll get some aerial shots here in a little bit. Over 1,400 entries, over 20 countries competing, and that is the big question we will cover this weekend, is which country will come out on top. Last year it was Team Canada. They almost won it 2 years in a row because they just barely fell to Team Italy 2 years ago. But question is, Mark, you know some of these riders. What do you think? Does Team USA have a shot here this year?
You know what? It's stacked. Like the World Cup has, really approached kind of the pinnacle of it. It used to be only the, everybody came for the 30 class and the 40 pro classes and that. And if you weren't in one of those classes, it wasn't, you weren't in the mix. But the World Cup has brought people from around the world. Like it's literally, there's people that are, it looks like Huffman going to the inside of Blaine Thompson.
The 187 finds a way around.
Awesome. We couldn't have got better camera angle for that. That was a textbook pass. And so that's Bryce Huffman from Paso Robles, California, on his MX Refresh Factory Connections, Onium goggles, Rackham Racing, 3M. And it's halfway. That's the halfway point. So letting those riders know that are battling. This is actually the battle for third. I know that it was showing that it was a battle for second, but this is the battle for third. Our live timing and scoring has caught up. So Alessi out front, Medeiros out in about 6 seconds behind him in second. And then this is the battle. Blaine Thompson and Bryce Huffman going at it. And man, that was an amazing pass by Bryce.
Yes, it was. Making it stick here. A beautiful day for racing. Saturday morning, Glen Helen, as we rip through Talladega Turn. These small 125cc machines giving it everything they got. Now, Mark, when you talk about the different technique, the different style that these riders are using on these 125s, they're clutching these bikes. They are a lot lighter, but you go out there on a 450, you're not worrying about clutching it and getting the most out of it. What do you have to do to get a small little 125cc around all this elevation at Glen Helen?
Well, it's more setting up for turns as we watch Brian Medeiros come down Mount St. Helen and kind of turn his Pasha back machine at the bottom and go right back up. up what we call Yamaha Hill into a horseshoe. But yeah, it's a lot of body English. It's Brian is pretty fast and on a 450, but on a 125, he's got a little bit of an advantage probably over Blaine and Bryce because he's a lot lighter. I mean, he's soaking wet. He's about 125 pounds. Alessi has always been the same way, that he's a really good starter. He's on good equipment as well, but that's Mike Alessi coming back down. But it's all about momentum. Momentum is your kind of Achilles heel when it comes to 125s, and I actually like racing 125s when you're racing against other 125s because it's fun. You can keep it close. Like these guys being able to stretch it out like this, and that bike's fast. Those two front-running bikes are probably the fastest bikes on the track, and the guys are good. Like, so they're going to pull it out a little bit more. Maybe those other bikes might be 125s. So it's definitely one of those things to where it's like I said, it's all about momentum. And the other thing to throw in there is these bikes don't always make it to the end. These are two strokes. They're way better than they used to be, but there's lots of RPMs going in here. There's race gas that's there. There's a lot of these bikes are still the carbureted versions. They're not the fuel-injected versions. So lots of factors going in, like we saw at the two-stroke World Championships earlier this year on Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube channel. Right down to the last, 3 laps or whatever, and a bike has mechanical failure. So, there's always that. Like I said, these bikes are built by Pasha, so they are pretty fast. But, man, racing action, drone footage. We got that great camera work from Aaron Kennard and the whole crew here at L&M Productions, and it's just one of those things to where it doesn't get any better than this. And this is just the first race that's coming live on the weekend. Check out Racing Jack, YouTube, and MXA for lots more racing action all weekend long.
That's right. We are celebrating speed. We're celebrating the 41st annual W World Vet Motocross Championship here from Glen Helen. Being told this will be a 7-lap race. Mr. Whole Shot, Mike Alessi, the multi-time AMA Pro Motocross winner, continues to lead Meridos and the rest of this field around. Unless Alessi makes a mistake, he is gone. He has brought his A game. And it's really cool to see some of these older riders. When I speak in terms of Supercross, Motocross, we know these careers are very, very short, sometimes often over by the mid-20s. It's cool to see some of these guys go in the distance. Got to mention your man, too, because one guy who we normally see always winning out here, arguably the greatest vet of all time, Mr. Mike Brown, still recovering from his injury, so unfortunately not with us here this weekend. Yeah, no,
Mike's still recovering from a racing incident and an injury, and we know it happens. I know it happened just this last weekend for me, so it's definitely one of those things to where we wish Mike on his road to recovery. Hopefully he'll be back for the two-stroke race with the entire FXR crew, with Andy, and we might even get Phil Nicoletti back here and racing that and having some fun. But yeah, in the next race, I'm kind of surprised. I think we saw him yesterday in the 50 plus Pasha 125 race. I think Doug Dubach, which I look at it and say, I think Doug is the fastest ever vet rider for the longest time. I was able to be a part of his championships when I worked for Doug, and then, Tom White, who started this whole fiasco way back in the day as a dream, bringing it to, when it was the White Brothers Vet World Championships. So I think we're going to see that on the Racing Jack YouTube channel, the 50-plus Pro Moto, and that you're going to see legends battling on the Racing Jack YouTube channel, and then even battling on the MXA YouTube channel later on today with people like Doug Dubach, Kurt Nicole, Troy Cardell, Bryce McDonald, Brian Story, like all of those guys, and there's a bunch more that we don't have. All of those legends that you remember watching in the late 80s, early 90s, they're all back. They never stopped racing. See Kurt and Doug at the track every week when we're out here testing. So it's there's lots of racing action going on, but man, does it get any better than this kind of footage.
No, it really doesn't. So happy that we're here all weekend. We're going to shout out all the great sponsors who make it possible. Support those who support your sport. All starts with Bud Feldkamp at Glen Helen and this great media team, L&N Media Production. So drop us down below in the comments, guys. Let them know you appreciate this live, L-I-V-E coverage from beautiful Glen Helen Raceways. We just get started. You never know who's going to show up here, too, as we've seen a lot of very, very talented riders from all different eras show up here. What I love about this event, too, thanks to Tom White, he added a junior vet class, so anybody over 25 can compete, and we've got racers all the way up to 80 years old and older with us here this weekend. There is an 80-plus class. How about that?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And Tom did so much when he was around for the sport of motocross, and he was the one that brought the 4-stroke world champions to us, and now it has kind of switched into the 2-stroke world championships and gone from there. W took up this. W, the name is a play on White Brothers, because White Brothers started with the W, Tom White, all that stuff, so it's a play on that. And it just so happens to be owned and ran by Tom's daughter and son-in-law, the Andersons, Kristen and John Anderson. And they're behind this 100%. They're all things wheel. They have the brand new W Lab that does T-shirt stuff and everything like that. And I'm blessed to be able to have known John and Kristen when they worked together at White Brothers before they were ever dating or married or anything like that. So it's a great racing family. They have their son Zane that's a part of W, and he's racing and doing stuff. So just another one of those great racing families that we get to see, and stuff that brings it stuff like that. So brings it stuff like what you're watching right now. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And with technology, we used to have to wait for cycle news to see these kind of results. Now we're being able to watch it live. And Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube channel, the Cycle Drag YouTube channel, you have Motocross Action YouTube channel. I'm saying YouTube channel, and I'm meaning Instagram and social media and Facebook and stuff like that you don't have to wait for that. But then Cycle News is still around, so you can see that when it comes out on Tuesday. So it's just great to see where technology is. 2 laps to go.
No doubt about it. Big shout out to Melissa with the pink hair. She does that every race, not just because it was Halloween yesterday, working hard, as this man working hard, the one, the only, Mr. Holeshot Mike Alessi, 37 years young, as he continues to lead the way around here. Formerly of California, I believe now of Florida. I think he's in the Jacksonville area is what he told me last year. A man who certainly keeps his training up, keeps his fitness up, has found a whole lot of success here at Glen Helen. It is great to see Mike Alessi, who will be with us all weekend long. We'll see how many times he ends up on top of the box before this thing is all said and done. So much going on this weekend. Also, we got to give a big shout out to Kevin McCarty, this year's winner of the Edison Dye Award. Keith McCarty, great job by him, and we'll be crowning that out tonight as well. Mike Alessi continues to lead the way around this racetrack.
You can, if you're on Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube channel right now, there is a full interview with him on the Edison Dye Achievement Award and everything like that. My video guy Travis Fant back in action and back doing the Edison Dye Achievement Awards after a break for a couple years. But he got with Keith. He got with, I believe there's a Hannah remote interview because Keith was Hannah's mechanics. And if you're wondering who Keith McCarty is, if Let Brock By it rings any kind of bell, that's who Keith McCarty is. So a long storied career with the Yamaha professional racing program, factory racing program. So check that out. It's on this feed on Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube channel, and you can check it out. That Travis Fant produced production going on right there. But lots of stuff happening here. There will be a presentation. Everybody will watch that video later on. You can watch it now. Get a little bit of a preview and go from there.
No doubt about it. Again, congratulations, Keith McCarty, legendary factory Yamaha racer. He takes his rightful place in the Glen Helen Hall of Fame. As we got just a couple laps left to go, Mike Alessi, who maybe someday he will be in the Glen Helen Hall of Fame, as we race towards the white flag. Look at Alessi, really up the speed, making that 125 sing around all this elevation here at Glen Helen. Beautiful day for racing, too. Typical Chamber of Commerce, California weather, 70 degrees, cold breeze, hot sun. Mark, we know that this track will get rougher and more brutal as the day progresses. Do you think this is the best racetrack we will see right here, right now, early in the morning?
Oh, for sure. There's not, considered to you're going to be seeing on Motocross Action's YouTube channel later. This is a freeway. This is horsepower robbing freeway. Alessi's been riding a lot when it comes to, okay, here we go, white flag is out, but Alessi's been doing some arena crosses and been doing kind of traveling all over the world. He gets to travel all over the world and then come back to his girls in Florida with his wife and daughters, and you get to see all that stuff. Another cool thing about social media, like we talked about the bad stuff about social media, but we get to talk about good stuff too. We get to see all of this action going on, and we get to see kind of family life. It looks like he's going to go underneath. Yeah, make that pass stick. This is a
great battle here. Almost contact. Back and forth. Final lap. As these two 125cc racers are leaving it all out there on the track. They take the white flag from Melissa. It is 1 to go. Mark, take me inside the mind of a racer. You know you are this evenly matched. There is 1 lap left. What is your strategy here?
Yeah, if you're out front, if you're on that Yamaha, that KTM's not getting by you, you're going to ride a wide bike. He tripled through there. That was a little bit of an advantage for him. But now Yamaha doesn't make a 150. So he might be going up against a KTM 150 on his Yamaha 125, and I believe didn't get the number when it went by, but so he's on, the most he can be on is a YZ 125 if it comes from factory. They do make big bores for him, but he's going to ride a wide bike, and he's going to make sure that rider's not getting by him. You're not losing a position on the last lap of this first moto.
Final lap here in the Pasha, 125cc 30-plus category. That man, Mike Alessi, the legend to be, with a good, comfortable lead, trying to get his first win of the weekend, but a lot going on behind him. We'll see how this one shakes out as we bring you this opening race from the 41st Annual W World Vet Motocross Championships, kicking off a big weekend. As Mark mentioned, we'll be live next on Racing Jack YouTube. We'll be live for the majority of the weekend on Motocross Action YouTube. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you stick with us. Again, so thankful to all the great sponsors who make this possible, and that includes W, Arc Levers, ASV Inventions, CC Motorsports, Fun Bike Center, IWC, Motorsports Tire Pros, RD Suspension, CD, Shoei, Temecula Motorsports, Pro Circuit, Yamaha, and the man we've talked about in this moto, taking money out of his pocket for the love of the sport, Tony Pasha. Thanks so much. And Mike Alessi looking to maybe cash in on some of that. And Mark, you know this very, very well, that once that factory deal goes away, even though a racer's active, these little bonuses, these little purses, contingency money, I'm sure that means the world to that man out there right now, the 800 of Mike Alessi, trying to take some cash back to Florida for his family, his program.
Yeah, no, and like I said, he does a lot of those races, a lot of those, traveling supercross races, traveling arena cross races, and does stuff like that. I mean, Mike probably has made a fairly decent amount of money across the board when it comes to...
Here we go, Mark. Checkers are out. Our first winner of the day. Say hello to Mr. Holeshot, Mike Alessi, taking the win. Congratulations, what a moto.
And Jared Medeiros coming across second in that, this is a 2-moto format, and those guys gap third, but looks like that might be Bryce Huffman coming around, and we'll probably see Blaine Thompson behind that. But, man, those guys getting out there. But like we said, Jared Medeiros sitting in the catbird seat or whatever they call that, because second is as good as a first in this 2-moto format. So
that's right. And these competitors are going to have to go back to the drawing board because they know they've got work to do today to catch that man. High fives all around for the 800 of Mike Alessi. That is how you want to start your weekend here at the 41st Annual W World Vet Motocross Championship. What a commanding performance for him. I'm sure.
I believe we're going to get some words from those guys down on the podium if I'm not right, or if I'm not mistaken, I think we're going to get some podium interviews with those guys. I believe we might see Josh Mosenman or maybe another person from MXA down there doing some interviews and catching up with these guys and seeing exactly when you take it through what we speculate and we talk about what's going on, but it's always nice to get the inside the racers' minds.
All right, let's give you a look at these final results brought to you by IWC, Motorsports Tire Pros, the 800 of Mike Alessi, originally from California, taking it home. And Brian Medeiros, great job by him. Bryce Huffman, that's a name that we're going to say a lot. He usually shines here big time when it comes to the World Vets. He brings home a podium finish to start the morning.
Well, and that is the man that we saw executing that perfect pass on Blaine Thompson. Unfortunately, Blaine Thompson dropping way back. That's kind of unlike Blaine. Maybe he had some problems when it came down to maybe some bike problems or something like that, but he did drop back, so hopefully he's okay.
Lots of racing still to come. Stay with us, guys. We'll talk to our podium finishers when we return. The 41st Annual W World Vet Motocross Championship will resume after this. The 41st W World Vet Motocross Championship, brought to you by Arc Levers, ASV Inventions, and by CC Motorsports.
Ladies and gentlemen, go wild. Big Cali gets
We're off to a rousing start here at the 41st Annual W World Vet Motocross Championship. We appreciate all of you watching live on the Dirt Bike Magazine YouTube channel. I see you out there. I checked the comments. Big shout out to all of our families, too. In just a few moments, we're going to hear from our podium finishers. And the big thing that we want to impart to all of our viewers, remember, next we're going to be live on Racing Jack YouTube, and then we're going to turn our attention to MXA YouTube. So just like Mark alluded to, we listen to you viewers. Last year, we only recorded 2 motos on Saturday, and then we packaged it all up for Sunday. This year, hey, you're like us. You love motocross. You want to see it all. We're bringing you as much live action as we possibly can on this beautiful broadcast, and we thank Mr. Bud Feldkamp and this awesome facility so much. I know we're probably going to see Bud at some point. He's so pumped up and excited. What a year it's been for him. Mark, I can't believe it. I've been here 4 times this year between NGPC, between the big 2-stroke race that we look forward to, and then how about MotoFest this year coming off? That was just phenomenal.
That's going to blow up, too. We got lots more planned for MotoFest. We got lots more planned for the 2-stroke nationals. All this stuff, it's great. Like I said, Bud putting in lots of effort when it comes to this entire streaming program. We saw the Pro Podium just right now. We're going to go back down. I think legendary announcer Chris Johnson, our buddy, is going to be down there with those guys and kind of getting in their minds and stuff like that. But this is just amazing. I can't believe that we get this much coverage, and I'm spoiled. This place is 25 minutes from my house, and I'm here 3-4 times a week. So I get to see these people, and I get to ride this track and do this all the time, but it's coming to the world. I mean, everybody's getting to see this, so it's an amazing thing with all the great sponsors that are at this event and all of our events. It's an amazing thing. It's definitely cool.
If you guys are new to this event, this is the largest World Vet Motocross Championship in the world. If you know anything about MX Nations, this is kind of like the Vet MX Nations. Multiple countries here off on the horizon. You see all the trailers. Over 1,400 entries have jam-packed beautiful Glen Helen Raceway.
That's a museum in the back. There's lots of bikes that will be displayed in there. They have a actual building right behind the start that they just built that's going to be an accessory shop. And it sounds like they're yelling in our ear that we have Chris Johnson on the podium with the top 3 from the Pasha 125 race.
Here right now with Bryce Huffman, 3rd place on the day for the 41st Annual World Veteran Championship. Bryce, did you have any idea you'd be up here today with us?
No, man. I'm always in like maybe that 5th, 6th spot, hoping for a top 5 in these. So to come out on the podium next to these 2 guys, we're just shredding. It's awesome.
Well, good show, and you had to climb through the pack on top of that. Got about a 5th place start, and then you had a really good dice up there with Blaine Thompson. But you saw Blaine take a tumble, didn't you?
Yeah, I could feel it. He was all over me, man. And I was getting a little tired, so it kind of worked out in my favor. I kind of couldn't hear him there for a little bit. I looked back, had some breather room, was able to kind of coast in, and got a little lucky there because he was coming.
Bryce, nicely done, man. Always good seeing you. Best of luck the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, come on over to this young man from Hawaii, Brian Medeiros. Good job today, man. And you kept Alessi with inside, huh?
Yeah, got off to an okay start. I bogged out of the gate, and that didn't help my case, but still a fun time. Had to come through the pack a little bit. By then, Alessi was gone, and couldn't catch a toe, so I need to figure that out for the second moto. But like I said earlier, thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for keeping us safe. Motocross Action Magazine, Pasha. My fiance is here today. My dad's here from Hawaii. So we're going to regroup. We're going to do the Cup of Nations race with Team Hawaii, then get on the 450 for that, and then we'll be back in the second moto. So I just want to say thank you to J-Mo, Jody, all the Joshes at MXA, and just everybody behind the scenes. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again. Always good seeing you up on the box, Brian. Have a great weekend, brother.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, coming over here to this young man, and get to call him a young man just for a little bit because he's going to be an older, well, I got a bunch of years on top of you. Anyway, Mike Alessi, always great seeing you. Congratulations. Whole shot in the win. And, boy, you're a world traveler, man, having a gas fitted, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, just what I do now. And, as I'm getting closer to 40, I just enjoy racing and riding. And thank you to Pasha for giving me a motorcycle to race this weekend. Well, it didn't. I got the whole shot, but, man, it didn't come with having to really work for it. So Yeah, the bike was good. I felt good, so looking forward to the second moto.
And not a single glitch in the bike at all, huh?
Yeah, really right at halfway. I got a front flat, but whatever. We'll get it taken care of, fixed for the second moto. Small potatoes.
Well, nicely done. Now, how many of these World Vets have you done now?
The first year I did it was 2019, so the last 6 years it's been good. I've had fun. I enjoy it, and it's kind of like coming back to my roots. I was born right here at Glen Helen, nearby, so it's good to see all my friends and family, which is first and foremost the most important thing, which is family, and just putting on a show and having a good time. And next week, like I said, I'm going to Finland, and then 2 weeks I go to Dominican Republic. So I got a really busy 3 weeks coming up for me. So I got California, Finland, and then Dominican. So that's my November. It's busy, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And luckily, I get to bring my family to Dominican, which is awesome. We'll be there for 10 days. So it should be good. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I just want to thank Pasha again for a great motorcycle, and look forward to Moto 2. Thank you.
Well, it's wild. I've been friends with your dad since he was in high school, and watched all you guys grow up all these years. But how old were you, and the very first time you put a throttle in your hand and you twisted it with a motor running? Do you remember that?
I was probably about 3.5, 4 years old, maybe 4.5, and just been riding dirt bikes my whole life, and 38 now. And, like I said, I want to try to go 2 more years of racing, and then after that I'll be pretty much done.
Not what we do, a big part of who we are, right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's in our genes. It's who we are. It's like an addiction, like in a drug. Like, you can't get rid of it. It's just you're just magnified to it. You're glued to it. But thanks to all the guys for putting on a good race, and look forward to second moto and try to get another good race.
Congratulations. Hey, Bryce Huffman, Brian Medeiros, and Mike Alessi. Give these gentlemen a fine round of applause here.
Thank you very much, CJ, and big thank you goes out to ASV Inventions for putting up the extra money for the whole shot. I'm sure Mike Alessi appreciates that, and how appropriate that Mr. Whole Shot takes home the big whole shot check.
Exactly. Like, great money there for those guys. They're getting paid by Pasha if everything comes out right. ASV, the whole crew at ASV stepping up and doing some whole shot awards. They were actually in the museum that we were speaking of with all kinds of stuff. There's the Glen Helen Walk of Fame. All kinds of cool racing action. Next, we're coming at you from Racing Jack. If you got a little bit more time and you want to check out the full video from Travis Fant on the Edison Dye Achievement Award that will be happening here later on today. I think the presentation is going to be going on this weekend with Keith McCarty, the Yamaha motocross legend and race team legend. Check that out. There's going to be a thumbnail on here like that. And now we're coming to you with what's next.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark. I really appreciate you having us on the Dirt Bike Magazine YouTube channel. This is all in an effort to bring you more coverage. Again, we will next be live on Racing Jack YouTube. Get subscribed, turn those notifications on, and then, of course, that sets the table for more live coverage today on MXA. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching this special presentation. We've got more coming up on the Racing Jack YouTube channel. We'll see you in just a little bit as the 41st Annual W World Vet Motocross Championship from historic Glen Helen will return. We'll see you in just a little bit, everybody.